let's see what today. Oh, you know what? I'll try this room. I haven't been in this room in a very long time. They've redecorated. More knickknacks. What is wrong with a minimalist approach? That's what I'd like to know. Are you talking to me? You can see me? You can hear me? Wow. Oh no, they're uncomfortable because they can't see or hear me. They think you're crazy. They'll get up in a minute and with an oh, there they go. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Let's get back to you, dear. So you can see and hear me. How interesting. What do you mean? No one, what is punking? Punking? I have no idea. Pranking? No pranking is pranking you, dear. I am no longer of this earth. Corporeally challenged? Dead, dear. I'm a ghost. Sit. It's okay. It's okay. I mean you no harm whatsoever. Please sit. Please. How long have you been able to talk to the spirits? Oh, when a child, but you thought it was an imaginary friend. Interesting. Do you mind having a chat with me? I haven't been able to speak to someone in decades. Oh, you're taking this very well, dear. I mean you no harm, honestly. Here, come, sit here. No, I can't. If I try to touch you, my hand will go right through you, and I understand it's a very strange feeling. I like to do it once in a while. The butler here is a jerk, so every once in a while I do that to him just to watch him freak out. Or I go back and tickle the back of his neck. Love doing that. Freaks him right out. He once took a whole week off. Well, he should treat his staff better. What's the use of having a few powers if I can't use them? So, yes. Well, let's see. What year is it now? Wow, 2024. I died in 1964. Yes. I had come here to this castle for a wedding. It was quite the boo-boo-shishi, as we would say. Why are you here? Your work brings you here. Are you an interior designer? Because they really could use the help in here, really. I see. Oh, you're investigating. Interesting. How long have well, I told you I died in 1964. No, I haven't been. Oh, there's so many misconceptions about us ghosts, spirits. No, I went to heaven. I've been to heaven. Heaven is wonderful. I'm not allowed to talk about it. But we are allowed vacations. You know, we are allowed to come and see. And for some reason, I can't seem to go anywhere else. I'm drawn to this place. No, it's not like I'm trapped here. It's just, I don't want to go anywhere but here. And I don't know why. What is it that you do for a living? Really? A police detective? How fascinating. There weren't a lot of female police detectives when I was around. Oh, does that mean we have equal rights now? Equal pay, everything? No. Still, huh? Lovely. What do you mean, but we're better off than some? What? Still? People are still feeling that way? Well, you learn a lot when you're dead, okay? And the outside body doesn't matter. It's what's inside. It's the soul that matters. Oh, sure, we can be anybody we want. I happen to like being me, so. What are you investigating? Has a crime been committed here? A cold case. A cold case. Okay, so what exactly is a cold case? I wish they would turn the TV on in here. Oh, they're all new age. Ugh. So much better in the 80s. Music was better. The fashion was fabulous. I would have rocked the 80s. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'll have you know, getting this pixie was quite the height of fashion back then. What do I remember? I don't remember my death. Many of us don't. Pardon? There's many of us here. Honey, this castle has been around for centuries. There's a ton of us here. We do tend to, we keep certain floors off limits. We decided a long time ago, the bedroom levels, off limits. Guests deserve their privacy, and to be perfectly frank, I have seen far too much to unsee it. Yes. What room are you in, though? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Well, as I say, we all agreed, but a certain individual, Felix, is a bit of a perv, and he has the third floor, but you're not on the third floor, so don't. You have privacy, I promise you. You needn't worry about that. No, we all relish the fact that you mortals can sleep. I wouldn't do anything to disturb that for anyone. Mm-hmm. Well, the animals seem to see us. If people come in with dogs, they tend to see us, and people are like, in fact, the owner made it pet free because she was tired of all the barking and the weird behavior. It's a little strange to see your dog playing fetch and shake a paw, but you can't see who they're doing it with. Yes, I'm sure we've sent many a pet to a pet therapist, don't worry. Meanwhile, they're perfectly fine. You seem very calm about this, being able to see a spirit. Have you seen any others? You wouldn't know. Okay, the couple that were here, yeah, they've been here for about a week now, and they're staying on the 4th floor in the turret. Yeah, new money. And there is a family with 2 small children, but they're out for the day. They go out most days. They explore the moors and whatnot. And that's it. So if you've seen anybody else in the last week, spirit. Big hat? Yes, that's Meg. Meg is wonderful. You'll see her. She comes out in about 3 o'clock. She likes to wander the rooms around 3 o'clock. Meg passed in 1921, 1922. Quite the risque flapper of her time, I must say. Maybe it was 31. I'm not sure. Dates tend to not mean anything to us. Oh, I came to the castle, as I say, for a wedding, and I remember I went out into the gardens, and I was helping one of the family members pick some flowers for the wedding. And then I came in, and I swear I went in this room, and honestly, dear, that's the last thing I remember. None of us remember our deaths. None of us. It's more of a flash. It's more of, if I had to describe it, and I have to be very careful because there are rules, you know, and I don't want to lose my vacay privileges. It's more like stepping into a threshold. I don't know how else I can really describe it. It is not a painful experience. No matter how many of us passed, however we did, it's more of a peaceful transition. It really is. Of course. I'm really not allowed to talk about it. Yeah. But I want to know more about your work. This is absolutely fascinating to me. A female police detective. My. Oh, you still? Of course. Well, progress is slow, I suppose. You have to remember, dear, in my lifetime, women just were able to vote. Well, not so much in my lifetime, my mother's. But I heard about it. Oh, she was quite the suffragette, my mother. Maybe that's where I got my feminism from. A hippie? I did agree with a lot of the hippie. I love the whole free love, burn your bra, that kind of thing. But if I had to classify myself, I'd say more mod. I was a mod girl. I much preferred the fashion, the look, the partying, the music. Oh, the music. Do you know that I saw the Beatles when they were still playing at the Cavern? Yeah. Oh, it was a wonderful time. Oh, we started going to the Cavern because I kind of had a crush on Paul. Sir Paul. And then when Ringo came in, my crushes would change. It would either be Ringo or Paul, sometimes Paul and Ringo, you know. Oh, I know. Actually, I'll tell you a story. Octopus's Garden was written about the garden out there. Yes, it was. I hummed it. That's right. He wrote it and everything, but I inspired. I love inspiring. We've had musicians, we've had artists, writers. This castle has been host to many. And I like to think of myself as a bit of an inspirator. Let me see if I can inspire you. Tell me about this cold case you're working on. Oh, a young woman was murdered here? Ooh, do you know her name? I could help you with that. I could maybe find her for you. She was violently murdered. Ooh. Well, as I say, none of us remember. Can you tell me more? She came here for a wedding in 1964. What's her name? Oh. I was murdered? I don't know. I've thought about how it happened, but I kind of just assumed maybe an allergy. I had a lot of allergies. Maybe I was stung by a bee. I was murdered. Somebody actually ended my life? Wait, if it's a cold case, it was never solved? They got away with it? How did you come upon the case? Oh, why would you be fascinated by it? Yeah, yes. Yeah, Patrick's my brother, yes. You're my niece? Well, I guess my great-great-niece? You've come here to solve my murder? Well, I'm still dealing with the fact that someone actually ended my life. But this is wonderful. I can help you. I know who all was here that day. I know what was going on. I know all the gossip about everyone from the wedding party. Oh, you have a notebook. Oh, interesting. May I? Oh, I love it. 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 May I? Oh, Oh, I can turn the pages, don't worry. I'm sorry, is that freaking you out? I won't. I can do it the old-fashioned way. Sure, I can touch things. It's just human flesh I can't touch. I can move objects and things. I've been dead long enough to do that. Of course, it's almost like, it's like grade school. The higher up you go, the more things you're able to do. There's not an angry ghost here. And believe me, I should be, knowing what I know now. But that's neither here nor there. Let's put our heads together and figure this out. All right, what have you discovered? Okay, well, the wedding was a dear friend of mine, Daphne, and she was marrying Reginald, and they were wonderful. And Daphne's parents were here, and they weren't overly fond of Reginald. They thought he was a little bit too highbrow for her. And Reginald's parents, they were very accepting of Daphne, even though, you know, she grew up very poor, and this was a whole new life for her. No, Reginald's family owned this castle. Yes. They were lovely, lovely people, as I recall. But I was friends with Daphne. We had gone to school together. We were both determined to rise above our stations, as we said back then. Well, I do know that the maid of honor, pardon? Yes, the maid of honor is Natalie. Yes. And Natalie was seeing one of the groomsmen, Demetrius. And Demetrius was very exotic. Oh, so exotic. We all were mad about him. Well, Natalie and Demetrius were sharing a room. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. It was the 60s, dear. And that's not shocking to you? Get out! Really? Without benefit of marriage? Well, hail the 60s. We brought in some changes then. Oh, I'll take credit for whatever. Okay, so Natalie and Demetrius were sharing a room, but they actually had the 2 rooms. But at night, Natalie would sneak through. There was a secret passage. Daphne told us all about the passages. You haven't seen them? Well, I do know a few of them were boarded up in the late 80s. Yeah, some kids were using them to sneak out, so they ended up getting boarded up. We've all been using them to sneak around. We can go through, but I can show you some that are still not boarded up. Oh, of course. Who else was here? That awful Tristan was here with Heather. Oh, they were awful. Tristan was one of Reginald's groomsmen, and Heather was his wife. And talk about snobs. Ugh. And acting like they're better than everyone else. I can't stand that. And the way they treated the staff was appalling. I can tell a lot about a person by how they treat the staff. I notice that you make your bed every morning because I hear the maids talking. So I know that you do. Dear, it's a compliment. Okay, back to the game. All right. Oh yes, they are just terrible, awful people. And I do recall every time we turned around, he was headed for the phone. Always on the phone. And he would he would use the phone in the grand parlor over there, and because it had the longest cord, and he'd be in closets and things. Yes. Ow. Mm-hmm. Oh, Heather was just as bad. Heather was sneaking around with the doorman. Yes, she was. Oh, and right in front of him. You'd think, it was just awful. Just awful. Well, I do recall that Reginald's father seemed to be under a great deal of stress. I just assumed it was the wedding. I've always been kind of intuitive about people, and I could tell right away that there was something bothering him. Between you and I, dear, I don't think his business was going very well. Because I heard the florist telling the caterer to make sure your check doesn't bounce. Oh, I know. Well, then there was Sean. Now, Sean was one of the, I guess it was the catering staff, but he would work in this kitchen all the time. He knew his way in and out of here. He seemed to be meeting with the father a fair bit, but Reginald's father was very kind and was very much a mentor to a lot of people, so I just assumed he was mentoring Sean. No, as I say, we were outside picking the flowers for the bouquets, and then I came in here, and I was standing over there. At the time, there was a bar trolley, and just beautiful. Oh, it was filled with baccarat crystal. It was just gorgeous. No, actually, the crystal. The crystal. It reminds me of something. Let me try something. No, that's not the sound. I heard a sound that night from the crystal. Unfortunately, I died after I had an allergy attack, so I know. At least I had makeup on. Can you imagine? What if I had died without makeup on? Ugh, ugh. No. I remember, now that you say that, there was a sound with the crystal, but I don't remember what it was. You have pictures? Oh. I don't know if I'm ready to see that. Could you put your hand over me? Okay. No, I had both shoes on when I came in here. I know I did. I walk around barefoot I am barefoot. I know I had shoes on. I know I did. I would never disrespect Reginald's family that way. They were very proper. So if I had shoes on when I came in, why would I take them off? I don't know, dear. There, in the corner of that picture. There was no broken glass when I came in this room. I know that for sure because I remember walking in and that bar fascinated me. The trolley cart was so beautiful with inlaid, it's just stunning, that tea trolley. I guess it was a tea trolley, but they used it as a bar. But the baccarat crystal would shine and it would make prisms across the room. And I remember looking at the prisms, but I don't remember anything later. The sound must have been the broken glass. All right, let me study the picture. Okay, the telephone wasn't there. The telephone wasn't there. I need to pace. Just give me 1 second. The telephone wasn't there. It was, where was it? I remember the cord. I remember the cord being around here. I remember now. I remember thinking he had to have been on the phone because the cord was in the closet, which means the phone was there. But then he came in the room. I remember that now. He made some snide comment about me being her little school chum from across the tracks. Asshole. And here it is. I had quite the mouth. I'm so sorry. I hope that didn't shock you. Thank you. So who was on the phone? Who was it? I remember standing there and the closet door opened. Do you have any more pictures? No, here. It's faster if I do it, dear. That one. That one. The closet's wide open. The closet door was always kept shut. No, Reginald's mother was very, very proper. No one would leave it open. Someone must have come out of that closet. Ow. Ow. Suddenly I'm getting a pain here. What? I was struck with an object? It's in the autopsy? I was autopsied. Of course, I was murdered. Okay. What can I... Okay. Was that the cause of death? Oh, I've always had a fear. My whole life, I have had a phobia about my neck. Maybe I was foretelling. I was strangled. Hands are an object. A cord. The telephone. It was the telephone cord, wasn't it? I can feel it. I can feel it. That's why my shoes were off. I was fighting. I was fighting whoever it was. I stomped on their foot. And then I kicked off my shoes to run. I remember that. Were my shoes found? No, they could not have been in my bedroom. No, absolutely. Do you still have them? Would you be able to get fingerprints? Because who's ever put those shoes in my bedroom could be the one who killed me. Who? I don't know. I remember clutching at that cord. And I remember stomping. And when I did, they swore. That voice was familiar. I knew them. I knew who them. Who was it? What else do you have, evidence-wise? Excuse me? People think I was having an affair with Reginald? I would never. Reginald was my friend, and Daphne was like a sister to me. She still comes here on the anniversary every year. She would never. Tell me, no, she doesn't believe it. She doesn't. She wouldn't come here and talk to me. She doesn't know I'm here, but no, she talks about how much she misses me. Who found me? Oh, the poor woman. Oh, that poor woman. You actually interviewed her? Dear, she must be. Oh, she's still in a nursing home. Oh, wow. Are her wits? I knew her wits would be about her. Was she able to enlighten you with anything? I see. Really? Who? Does it say in those notes? Who said I was having an affair with Reginald? It was inferred. By whom? By Sean. How the hell would Sean know what I was doing? I talked pleasantries with him. We didn't have any kind of friendship. An acquaintanceship, but not a friendship. So someone hit me in the back of the head. I ran. No, the cord had to be first because I remember clutching at it. And as I moved my feet, one of my shoes came off. And I knew I had to kick the other one off so that I could get away. I remember going limp, just letting myself fall. And it made whoever it was lose their grip. They must have run after me. And then they hit me with the phone. They hit me with the phone. The receiver. It was quite heavy back then. It was very antique. Very heavy metal. Like, I'm getting flashes now. It's like you've opened a door in my mind. I remember running. I remember being hit in the head. And then I fell. Because of the head. I stumbled and I gave them a chance to catch me. And then the cord. I see them. I know who did it. I know who did it. It can't be though. He would never do that. How did you know? The statements were inconsistent. What did he say? He confirmed what Sean said? Is he passed? Yes. That's why he's never come here. He's afraid to face me. But why? Why would Reginald's father kill me? It doesn't make any sense. He was on the phone in the closet. And when he came out, Sean met him. And they didn't see me because I was at the bar. They were talking about, oh my God, they were selling drugs. He was low on cash. I was so shocked I dropped the glass. Oh my gosh. And then Sean kept trying to talk me into going along with it. They said they would cut me in for a piece of it. And Reginald's father kept saying that he had no choice. He couldn't let everyone know he had lost all his money. And then they said I would talk. And Sean went to get rope. And I pushed against Reginald's father. And that's when he must have started strangling me. The phone was still in his hand. Oh dear. But how will you prove it? And he's passed. Yes, I want justice. But I don't know how to prove. have the evidence here? In your car? Bring it in, bring it in. I'll wait here, right here. Dear, this is a lot to take in. I may need a minute. All right, I know how and who and why and where. But how are we going to prove it? Oh dear, oh, that is a big box. All right, take the lid off. Why are my running shoes in there? I wasn't wearing running shoes. No, I wasn't. I was wearing sandals. Because we had just had our toes done the morning before. And I didn't want to smudge them the morning of. So I put my sandals on. Oh, lovely pair that you have to wear them in. They're called Birkenstocks. Have you heard of them? Oh, okay. If you find my Birkies, that's what I was wearing. I know I had on. I did not have those running shoes on. I did not. Okay, what else is in there? There. My watch. My watch. Is there hair in the watch band? Because I remember putting my hand up to punch out. I wasn't one to go quietly, trust me. And I remember grabbing the hair, but I could actually feel the hair getting stuck in my watch. Well, dear, I don't know why it would never have been tested. It was 1964. DNA? Who is D and who is A? Oh, DNA. Nucleate. Okay. Okay. So that wouldn't have been tested back then. Would you be able to test it now? Yeah, but if he's dead, how would you test it? Reginald's grandson. So the wedding did go on. Good. I know Daphne talks about it. Well, if you can prove it, but what are you going to say? That a ghost told you? That you just noticed it? Oh, dear, thank you. It's like a veil has been lifted from my eyes. I feel so much more peaceful. I didn't even realize I wasn't peaceful. Maybe I can vacate elsewhere now. Oh no, that's a myth. That's a myth. We can go wherever we want. Most of us don't like to travel, but I do. I do. I love people. I love watching people. I love knowing what they're about. Oh, of course. And it's been so long since I was able to communicate with someone. Hi, Matt. You don't see Matt. Interesting. Yes, I'm talking to her. She can see and hear me, but she can't see or hear you. Maybe because there is a family bond. Maybe that's why you can see me. Dear, my time is almost up. No, my vacation's almost over. I've been here long enough. And I guess this time I was supposed to find you. I'm so very, very glad that I found you. I wish I could embrace you, I really do. Will you come back sometimes? I'll find you, how's that? Would you like me to visit? Who knows, maybe because you've solved my murder, we won't need to. I don't think I'll be drawn to this place anymore. Not now that I know what happened here. If I hadn't dropped that glass, they might never have known I was there. Suddenly the crystal's not quite so shiny in my memory anymore. I must go now, dear. But I'm so glad that I've met you. I know this sounds strange, but I feel so close to you. Please don't think it odd, but I love you, and I value you. I honor you, and I am so very, very glad that you were born.